Gemini, using tarot card to unlock your inner wisdom and read your future. Gemini, within you lies a vast universe of curiosity, intuition, and untapped wisdom. Your restless mind seeks answers, patterns, and clarity, yet so often the truth you long for is hidden beneath the surface of thought. This is where tarot becomes a sacred mirror, a tool not of fortune-telling but of soul-telling. Every card carries archetypes that speak the language your spirit already understands, awakening insights that your conscious mind may have overlooked. For you, guided by Mercury, the messenger of the gods, tarot is not only a deck of images but a dialogue with the unseen realms. Have you ever drawn a card and felt it echo your inner state, so precisely gave you chills? That is the power of tarot. It bypasses logic and awakens the deeper knowing within you. For Gemini, who often feels pulled between choices, tarot offers a compass, aligning your head with your heart and your intuition with your intellect. It does not predict with rigid certainty. It reflects possibilities, illuminates blind spots, and empowers you to co-create your destiny with awareness. Imagine holding a deck in your hands, shuffling as your questions silently rise. Each card you turn is a response from the universe, guiding you toward clarity and reminding you that the answers you seek are not far away. They are already inside you, waiting to be unlocked. Tarot, when approached with reverence, is not about fear or control, but about trust, healing, and empowerment. It is your soul speaking back to you through symbols, inviting you to step more fully into your path. If you ever wonder how to access your inner wisdom or how to read the signs of your future with more confidence, this journey is for you. Stay with me, Gemini, as we open the door to tarot's wisdom. Together we'll discover not only what the cards reveal, but what they awaken within you. And if you find resonance in this exploration, I warmly invite you to share, subscribe, and pass this message along, so more souls can remember the magic of their own inner guidance. Gemini, when you first approach tarot, it is easy to assume it is about predicting the future. But in truth, tarot is far more than that. It is a tool for dialogue with your inner wisdom and with the universe itself. For a sign like yours, ruled by Mercury, the art of communication is central to your soul's journey. Tarot speaks to you in the language of symbols, stories, and archetypes, languages you naturally resonate with. It doesn't tell you what will happen. It helps you uncover the wisdom already within, so that you may navigate your choices with greater clarity and confidence. Let's begin by understanding why tarot works so powerfully for you. Each card in the deck is a symbolic key, representing universal energies that exist both around you and within you. When you shuffle the deck, your subconscious mind and the energetic field surrounding you influence the cards that emerge. To a skeptic, this may sound like chance, but to one attuned like Gemini, it is synchronicity, the universe arranging itself in perfect alignment with your inner state. Just as you often notice repeating numbers or meaningful coincidences, tarot reflects the same principle. What appears before you is not random, but a mirror of your soul's dialogue with the cosmos. For Gemini, the restless mind can sometimes cloud intuition. You may find yourself analyzing a decision from every angle, caught in endless loops of what if. Tarot gently interrupts the cycle. By placing images before you, it speaks to your deeper knowing beyond thought. The Fool card, for instance, may appear when you are contemplating a leap of faith, reflecting the innocence and courage already stirring in your heart. The Lovers, ruled by your very own sign, may surface when you face choices of love, values, or alignment, reminding you that the power to choose consciously is the key to your freedom. Each card, then, is not a prediction but a mirror, illuminating what your soul already knows but your mind is yet to trust. Real-world examples show how transformative this can be. Consider a Gemini who is uncertain about whether to pursue a new creative project. When she pulled the Three of Pentacles, the message was unmistakable: collaboration, building something tangible with others, trusting the process of co-creation. She realized she had been trying to do everything alone, and the card reminded her that support was essential. By opening to collaboration, her project blossomed beyond her imagination. In this way, tarot did not predict her success. It revealed the path she already needed to take, one that her intuition had whispered but she had ignored. The beauty of tarot for Gemini lies also in its storytelling nature. Your mind loves narratives, metaphors, and connections. The tarot spreads, whether a simple one-card draw or a complex Celtic cross, create a story of your journey. You begin to see patterns, how past experiences influence the present, how current energies shape the future, how hidden influences support or challenge you. It becomes less about fortune-telling and more about weaving together the story of your life, one card at a time. And because Gemini thrives on patterns, these spreads offer a satisfying yet profound way to make sense of the inner and outer worlds. Another key aspect is intuition. At first, you may rely heavily on guidebooks or traditional interpretations of cards. But over time, you will notice that certain cards evoke personal meanings unique to you. Perhaps the moon card stirs memories of your childhood dreams, or the star reminds you of a promise you once made to yourself. These personal associations are just as important as traditional meanings, for tarot is meant to awaken your inner language of symbols. As a Gemini, you are gifted at interpreting multiple perspectives, so you are especially suited to let intuition and knowledge dance together. It is important also to approach tarot with reverence, not fear. Some Geminis, with their curious minds, may be tempted to treat tarot as a game or novelty, but the deck is sacred, a spiritual mirror that deserves respect. Treating it with care, keeping it in a cloth, cleansing it with intention, and asking clear questions creates an atmosphere of trust. The universe responds not to manipulation, but to sincerity. When you approach the card with an open heart, the messages are clearer and the insights deeper. And finally, Gemini, tarot is not meant to replace your free will. It is not a verdict written in stone, but dialogue meant to empower you. The cards may show you potentials, challenges, or energies, but you always hold the power of choice. In fact, the true gift of tarot is that it reminds you of your agency. It shows you the map, but you decide how to walk the path. For a sign that often struggles with indecision, this empowerment is liberating. You realize that you are not bound by fate, but guided by wisdom that grows stronger each time you listen. So when you begin using tarot, see it not as predicting your future, but as unlocking your inner wisdom. Each card you draw is a mirror, each spread a conversation, each session an act of remembering who you truly are. And for Gemini, the messenger of the zodiac, tarot becomes not only a guide for your path, but also a language you can share with others, helping them discover the wisdom within their own souls. Gemini, once you begin to see tarot not as a tool of fortune-telling, but as a mirror of your soul, the next step is to understand how it can help you align with your intuition and quiet the restless chatter of your mind. Your dual nature, always curious, always questioning, give you the gift of versatility, but it also leaves you vulnerable to overthinking and indecision. Tarot, when approached with sincerity, becomes a bridge between your logical mind and your intuitive heart, allowing both to work together in harmony. Let us consider the Gemini dilemma. You are faced with choices daily, large and small, and your mind often runs down every possible path. Should you take this opportunity? Should you stay or leave a relationship? Should you move, change careers, invest, create, or wait? The more you analyze, the less clarity you feel, because analysis without intuition leads to paralysis. This is where tarot offers a shift. Each card you pull is an anchor for your intuition, a symbol that bypasses endless thought and speaks directly to your inner knowing. Instead of juggling 1,000 possibilities, you hold one card in your hand, one message, one focus. In this way, tarot simplifies the noise, cutting through the restless Gemini storm. Take, for example, the Two of Swords, a card often depicting a figure blindfolded, holding two crossed blades. For many Geminis, this card arrives precisely when you are stuck in indecision. It mirrors your inner state and reminds you that clarity cannot always be reached through logic alone. Sometimes you must close your eyes to external noise and listen to your inner compass. The card does not tell you which option to choose. It reminds you that the wisdom you seek arises when you stop overthinking and trust your heart. In another instance, the Magician card, so aligned with your Mercury rulership, appears when you are ready to harness your skills, focus your energy, and manifest your desires. For Gemini, who often scatters energy across multiple projects, the Magician serves as a mirror of mastery, urging you to channel your gifts with intention rather than distraction. It is not predicting success. It is reminding you of the power you already carry within. This is how tarot empowers your intuition, not by handing you answers, but by awakening your inner authority. Dreams and tarot also work hand in hand for Gemini. Many of you experience vivid dreams filled with symbols, yet the logical mind may dismiss them upon waking. Tarot can act as a translator, bridging dream imagery with waking guidance. If you dream of crossing a river and later pull the Six of Swords, a card often showing a journey across water, you'll receive confirmation that your subconscious and the universe are aligned and urging you toward transition. In this way, tarot validates and amplifies your intuitive impressions, giving you the courage to act on them. It is worth noting that tarot also teaches patience, something Gemini often struggles with. You are quick-moving, eager for the next idea, the next adventure. Yet tarot speaks in cycles. Sometimes a card will appear repeatedly until you truly integrate its lesson. For instance, the Hermit may show up week after week, reminding you to pause, withdraw, and reflect. At first, you may resist, craving action. But over time, you realize a Hermit is not blocking you, but preparing you, ensuring that when you do act, it is with clarity and wisdom. The repetition itself is the message. Until you embody the lesson, the universe will keep whispering it through the cards. Real-life experiences make this clear. A Gemini once sought guidance about a difficult relationship, pulling the Devil card multiple times. Initially, they resisted the message, dismissing it as coincidence. But when the card persisted, they recognized it as a sign of unhealthy attachment. This awareness gave them the courage to release what was toxic, freeing space for healthier love. Tarot did not tell them something they didn't already know. It illuminated the truth they had buried beneath doubt. Another way tarot aligns you with intuition is by awakening the archetypes within. Every card is not only a symbol of external energy, but also a reflection of your inner landscape. The High Priestess, for instance, is not just a woman of mystery. She is the intuitive power within you, waiting for your acknowledgement. The Chariot is not only about victory in the outer world. It is your ability to master your dual nature, to direct your opposing energies toward a single purpose. When you work with tarot consistently, you realize that you are not drawing cards at random. You are calling for the archetypes within yourself that need activation. This deepens your self-knowledge and strengthens your trust and intuition, for you see that the answers were never out there but always within. Gemini, because you are ruled by Mercury, you may be tempted to intellectualize tarot, to memorize every card meaning, to analyze spreads like equations. While knowledge is valuable, remember that the cards are meant to awaken intuition, not just intellect. Balance is the key. You might begin by studying traditional meanings, but as you grow, you must allow the images to speak directly to your spirit. Perhaps the colors, the posture of figure, or even the emotion the card stirs in you becomes a message. Trust these impressions. They are not mistakes. They are the universe speaking to you in your unique symbolic language. Ultimately, tarot becomes a sacred dialogue between your restless Gemini mind and your quiet inner wisdom. Each time you pull a card, you practice surrendering analysis for intuition. Each time you listen to its message, you strengthen the bridge between your head and your heart. And over time, this dialogue transforms not only how you read the cards, but how you live your life. You begin to approach decisions not from fear or doubt, but from clarity, confidence, and alignment. So Gemini, let tarot be your compass. Let it ground your restlessness, awaken your intuition, and remind you of the wisdom already within. For the future is not a fixed path waiting to be revealed. It is a living conversation between you and the universe, one that tarot helps you hear more clearly every day. Gemini, as you deepen your practice with tarot, you begin to discover that the cards are not only tools for decision-making, but also gateways into your soul's evolution. They are not limited to surface-level guidance. They reflect the deepest layers of your psyche, revealing the shadows you resist, the growth you crave, and the destiny that quietly calls you forward. For a sign as mercurial and adaptable as yours, this is essential. Tarot provides a mirror through which you can see both the light and the shadow, both the conscious and the hidden. Let us begin with the concept of shadow work. Geminis are often celebrated for their lightness, wit, and ability to adapt. But beneath the surface, there can also be fear of stillness, fear of depth, fear of the parts of yourself that feel messy or contradictory. Tarot cards, particularly those that are often labeled challenging, like Death, the Tower, the Devil, or the Moon, become powerful allies in this inner work. They do not come to frighten you, but to illuminate the places where growth is possible. Consider the Tower, with its imagery of lightning striking a tall structure, figures falling, chaos erupting. At first glance, it feels destructive, but for Gemini, who sometimes clings to comfort through busyness and distraction, the Tower reminds you that collapse is often the gateway to renewal. The old structures that no longer serve must fall, so you can rebuild on a stronger foundation. If you draw the Tower during a reading, it is not a curse. It is an invitation to release illusions and embrace authenticity. In this way, tarot supports your soul's transformation even through discomfort. The Death card offers another profound example. For Gemini, endings can be particularly difficult, as your curious nature longs keep exploring all options at once. But Death reminds you of the sacred necessity of closure. Without endings, there are no beginnings. Without letting go, there is no room to receive. When this card appears, it is a sign that a cycle is completed, and your soul is ready to shed an old skin. Though the mind may resist, the heart knows that transformation is the path to freedom. Tarot also nurtures your growth through archetypal journeys. The major arcana, the 22 cards that begin with the Fool and end with the World, represent stages of spiritual development. When you work with these cards, you begin to recognize where you are in your own journey. Perhaps you are at the stage of the Hermit, retreating inward to seek truth. Or perhaps you are at the stage of Strength, learning to balance your passion with compassion. Seeing yourself in this archetypal journey reminds you that life is not random. It is a path of unfolding wisdom. And because Gemini is naturally attuned to stories, these archetypes speak to you with particular power, providing a map for your soul's growth. Shadow work with tarot also helps you reconcile your duality. As a Gemini, you often feel pulled between opposites, logic and emotion, commitment and freedom, light and shadow. The cards invite you to stop resisting this duality and instead integrate it. The Lover's card, associated with your sign, often shows two figures choosing union under a higher blessing. This is not only about relationships with others, it is about the inner marriage of your twin selves. When the Lovers appears, it calls you to choose integration, to honor both sides of yourself as sacred, and to live in alignment with your true values. Real stories bring this to life. A Gemini once confided that they constantly struggle with self-doubt despite appearing confident to others. In a tarot reading, they pulled the Moon, a card of illusion, subconscious fears, and hidden truths. At first, they felt unsettled. But upon reflection, they realized the Moon was showing them the parts of themselves they had denied, the fears beneath their mask of confidence. Instead of resisting, they began journaling and meditating on these fears, slowly bringing them to light. In time, they discovered that their vulnerability became a source of strength. The Moon had not come to confuse them. It had come to liberate them from illusions. Beyond shadow work, tarot also helps you envision your soul's future. Gemini, your mind loves to play with possibilities, and tarot provides a sacred playground for your imagination. Spreads that explore potential outcomes allow you to see what different choices might create. This does not mean the future is set. It means you are empowered to co-create it consciously. If one path reveals struggle and another reveals abundance, you are free to choose the alignment that feels right. In this way, tarot transforms anxiety about the future into empowerment. You no longer feel at the mercy of fate. You feel like an active participant in your destiny. Tarot also awakens you to synchronicity on a larger scale. As you practice, you may notice that the same cards appear repeatedly, or that certain archetypes follow you through seasons of life. This repetition is not coincidence. It is the universe reinforcing your lessons until they are fully integrated. A Gemini once noticed that the star card appeared in nearly every reading for 6 months. The message of hope, renewal, and faith became a mantra during a time of personal struggle. Each appearance deepened their trust that healing was not only possible but inevitable. The repetition was the universe's way of saying, do not forget who you are becoming. Gemini, tarot is not about avoiding your challenges, but about embracing them as part of your soul's unfolding. Each card is a teacher, each spread a classroom, each reading a dialogue with your higher self. When you allow the cards to guide you beyond the surface and into the depths, you begin to see your duality not as conflict, but as harmony, not as confusion, but as wisdom. You realize that both light and shadow are sacred, both certainty and doubt are meaningful, both the known and the unknown are part of your path. And in this realization, you find peace. Tarot becomes less about predicting the future and more about living fully in the present, knowing that every card, every choice, every step is a part of your soul's sacred story. Gemini, as your relationship with tarot matures, you begin to realize that this sacred practice is not only about self-reflection, but also about connection. You, perhaps more than any other sign, are designed to share, to communicate, to weave webs of meaning between yourself and others. Tarot, therefore, becomes a bridge, a way of deepening your relationships, guiding those you love, and embodying your role as Mercury's messenger. By using tarot not only for yourself, but also in service to others, you activate one of your highest callings, to be a translator of wisdom between the visible and the invisible realms. Let us begin with relationships, for this is often where Geminis seek the most clarity. Your curious nature craves connection, yet your restless heart sometimes struggles with depth and commitment. Tarot spreads that explore relational dynamics can illuminate what lies beneath the surface, both in yourself and in others. Suppose you are unsure about the future of a partnership. A simple 3-card spread might reveal the energy you bring to the relationship, the energy your partner brings, and the energy of the bond itself. Perhaps you pull the Knight of Swords for yourself, impulsive, eager, rushing ahead, the 4 of Pentacles for your partner, reserved, cautious, holding back, and the Temperance card for the relationship, calling for balance and patience. Suddenly, what felt confusing becomes clear. You are moving too quickly, while they are moving too cautiously, and the bond requires equilibrium. Tarot has not judged a relationship. It has illuminated the dance of energies, so you can respond with awareness. Gemini, this insight is invaluable, for your dual nature often sees many sides at once. Tarot gives you a framework to hold these perspectives with compassion. Instead of projecting assumptions onto others, you listen to the symbolic language that reveals truth more gently. This makes you not only a better partner, but also a more empathetic friend, sibling, colleague. You begin to see people not only as they appear, but as they are becoming. Using tarot with others also awakens your gift as a communicator. Because you are naturally skilled at words, you can translate the symbols of tarot into language that resonates with those around you. This does not mean telling people what will happen to them. It means helping them see the choices, energies, and potentials at play in their lives. For instance, if a friend pulls the 8 of Cups, you might frame it not as you're doomed to leave something behind, but as your soul is inviting you to walk away from what no longer nourishes you, so you can find deeper fulfillment. In this way, you use your voice to empower rather than frighten, to guide rather than dictate. Consider how powerful this role can be in moments of crisis. A Gemini once shared tarot with a loved one who was grieving the loss of a job. The 5 of Pentacles appeared, often associated with hardship and feeling left out in the cold. Instead of confirming despair, the Gemini gently reminded their friend that this card also depicts sanctuary, the warm light of a church window nearby, symbolizing help available if they are willing to seek it. This reframing gave their friend the courage to reach out for support, eventually leading to a new opportunity. Here, tarot became not a prediction but a vessel of hope, and Gemini became the messenger of that hope. On a deeper level, using tarot with others also teaches you humility. It reminds you that you are not the source of wisdom. You are the channel. The cards speak through you, but they belong to no one. This is especially important for Gemini, who may sometimes become attached to cleverness or performance. Tarot invites you to step back and let the symbols speak, allowing your words to be guided rather than controlled. In this surrender, you embody the true essence of Mercury, the messenger, not the message. There's also a sacred responsibility here. When you read tarot for others, you touch their hearts, their fears, their hopes. It is essential to approach this with integrity, avoiding the temptation to manipulate or to dramatize. Instead, you must ground yourself in compassion, remembering that the purpose of tarot is not to frighten or control, but to empower and heal. For Gemini, This integrity becomes an anchor, balancing your airy curiosity with the weight of responsibility. It reminds you that words, once spoken, have power, and you, dear Gemini, are entrusted with that power. Tarot also strengthens your collective purpose. As you share readings, conversations, and stories, you begin to see patterns not just in your own life, but in the lives of many. Certain archetypes may appear repeatedly across different readings, reflecting collective energies at play. Perhaps during a time of global uncertainty, the Wheel of Fortune shows up again and again, reminding you and those around you of cycles beyond your control. By recognizing these patterns, you become a guide not only for individuals but for your community, offering insight into the shared journey of humanity. From a Hermetic perspective, this is the embodiment of as above, so below. The archetypes in tarot reflect cosmic principles that play out both in the heavens and in human lives. When you share these insights with others, you are practicing esoteric service, bringing down the wisdom of the stars into the language of the everyday. This is why Gemini is so uniquely suited for this role. Your gift is communication, and tarot is the perfect channel for your voice to carry timeless truths into timely guidance. And perhaps most beautifully, tarot allows you to cultivate intimacy with others. By sitting with someone, shuffling the cards together, and exploring the messages that arise, you create a sacred container where vulnerability is honored. In a world where conversations are often shallow and rushed, this practice invites depth, stillness, presence. It says, I see you, I hear you, I honor your journey. For Gemini, who sometimes fears superficiality in relationships, tarot offers a remedy. It draws you and others into the heart of what truly matters. Gemini, when you use tarot not only for yourself but as a bridge for connection, you embody your highest essence. You become not just a seeker of signs, but messenger of wisdom, not just a reader of cards, but healer of hearts. And in this service, your own soul blossoms. For in guiding others, you are guided. In speaking truth, you hear truth. In reflecting light, you become light. Gemini, as you've discovered, tarot is not merely a deck of cards. It is a living mirror, a sacred tool that reveals your inner landscape and the whisper of the cosmos. But the question now becomes, how do you sustain this connection? How do you ensure that tarot becomes not just an occasional curiosity, but a lifelong ally on your path of wisdom? The answer lies in weaving tarot into the fabric of your daily life, allowing it to become a rhythm, a ritual, a steady compass guiding you across every season of your journey. To begin, Gemini, embrace tarot as a daily practice, but in a way that honors your airy nature. A rigid, overly structured routine may suffocate your spirit. Instead, create flexible rituals that invite spontaneity while anchoring your awareness. For example, each morning you might draw a single card and ask, what energy will guide me today? Then, as you move through your day, notice how the card's theme reveals itself in conversations, challenges, or synchronicities. A pulled page of cups might show up as an unexpected invitation to explore creativity, while the Queen of Swords might guide you to speak truth with clarity. In this way, the cards become companions rather than abstractions, reminding you that wisdom is not reserved for special moments, but available in every hour. Sustaining tarot also means deepening your relationship with the archetypes. Each card is a friend, a teacher, a facet of your own psyche. Spend time with them one by one. Journal about their images, meditate on their symbols. Let them speak in your dreams. The more you engage, the more they reveal. For Gemini, who thrives on conversation, this becomes an intimate dialogue. You are not just studying the cards, you are conversing with them, learning their voices, discovering how they show up uniquely in your life. Over time, you will notice that when a card appears in a reading, it feels like the arrival of an old friend, carrying a familiar message that nonetheless touches a new layer of your growth. Another powerful way to sustain tarot is to integrate it into community. As a Gemini, connection fuels your soul, and tarot can become a shared language that deepens your bonds. Create circles where you and others draw cards together, reflecting on the messages each receives. Exchange interpretations, noticing how one card may hold different yet complementary meanings for each person. This not only enriches your understanding, but also reminds you that tarot is not about absolute answers. It is about resonance. What matters most is not what the card should mean, but what it awakens in the heart of the one who draws it. In this communal reflection, you find joy, belonging, and the sacred gift of shared wisdom. Gemini, sustaining tarot also requires balance between study and intuition. Your Mercury rulership makes you hungry for knowledge. You may feel tempted to memorize every interpretation, every historical detail. While this is valuable, remember that tarot's greatest gift is not intellectual mastery, but intuitive awakening. To sustain your practice, let yourself dance between both poles. Study when you crave structure, but also give yourself permission to read without a book. Trust in the images to speak directly. Perhaps one day the Empress evokes a sense of nurturing. Another day it stirs your longing for abundance. Both are valid. The key is to keep the dialogue alive, allowing your inner voice to grow stronger with each spread. Let us not forget, too, that sustaining tarot means tending to the sacredness of your deck. Just as you care for a treasured instrument, so too must you care for your cards. Keep them in a place of honor. Cleanse them with intention, whether through smoke, moonlight, or simple touch, and infuse them with your energy. The way you treat your deck is a reflection of the reverence you bring to your practice. For Gemini, who sometimes moves quickly through life, this act of slowing down to honor the cards becomes grounding, reminding you that wisdom blooms in spaces of care and presence. Tarot also teaches you about cycles, and sustaining your practice means attuning to these rhythms. There will be seasons when you read daily, hungry for guidance, and seasons when the cards remain untouched for weeks. Do not judge this ebb and flow. It mirrors the cycles of your own soul. The key is to return again and again with sincerity. Each time you shuffle the deck, you signal to the universe, I am ready to listen. And the universe, patient and eternal, always responds. Real-world examples reveal how sustaining tarot shapes lives. A Gemini once shared how she began pulling a single card every morning as a ritual. At first, it felt simple, almost trivial. But over months, she noticed profound shifts. The card began weaving into her dreams, her choices, her relationships. She learned to trust her intuition more deeply, to release the need for constant external validation. What began as a 5-minute ritual grew into a profound relationship with her inner self. Tarot became not a tool she used, but a companion she lived with, one that walked beside her through every transition. And finally, sustaining tarot means embracing it as a dialogue, not a destination. Gemini, your restless nature often craves finality, clear answers, perfect closure. But tarot is not about final answers. It is about continual unfolding. Each reading reveals one layer, then another, then another. The mystery never ends, and this is its beauty. When you surrender to this truth, you discover peace. You realize that life itself is tarot, a series of archetypes, symbols, choices, and synchronicities, all guiding you toward a wholeness that was always within you. So, Gemini, let tarot be more than cards on a table. Let it be a language you live by, a rhythm you dance with, a companion you trust. Sustain it not through rigid discipline, but through loving attention, playful curiosity, and reverence for the mystery. And as you do, you will find that the wisdom of tarot is not only about reading your future. It is about awakening your soul again and again into the fullness of who you are becoming. Gemini, you have walked through the sacred journey of tarot, discovering that it is not a game of chance nor a rigid map of destiny, but a living dialogue between your soul and the universe. Along the way, you have learned that every card is a mirror, every spread a story, every shuffle a sacred breath that reconnects you to your intuition. For a spirit as curious and multifaceted as yours, tarot becomes a perfect companion, grounding your restlessness, sharpening your clarity, and reminding you of the wisdom you already carry within. In embracing tarot, you have also embraced yourself. The cards have shown you not only what lies ahead, but also who you are becoming. They have illuminated your shadows, celebrated your light, and offered guidance when your mind spun in too many directions. Most importantly, they have reminded you that the future is not set in stone. It is a living co-creation, shaped by your choices, your awareness, your courage. And Gemini, when you read the cards, you are not predicting your fate. You are awakening your freedom. As you step forward, remember that tarot is not just for special occasions. It is a rhythm you can carry daily, a compass that keeps you aligned, a mirror that reflects your truth in every season. The more you honor it, the more it honors you. The more you listen, the clearer the guidance becomes. And in time, you will see that tarot is not separate from life. It is life, unfolding through symbols, synchronicities, and stories that remind you that you are both student and teacher, seeker and messenger. So, Gemini, I invite you to reflect. What card or symbol has spoken to you most recently? How did it guide your choices, heal your heart, or awaken your courage? Share your story in the comments below, for your voice may be the mirror that helps another soul see their own path more clearly. Together, we create a community of wisdom, where every card becomes not only personal guidance but collective healing. And always remember, the universe is speaking, the tarot is translating, and your soul already knows the way.